Hey guys, I'm Dorian Day and welcome to Massive in Depth number 17. Today we're going to be going over how to make Dutch house leads. Like the previous videos, this video accompanies the release of a pack from Sick Twisted Mind Studios called Dirty Dutch Leads Volume 1. You can find the purchase and demo link in the description of this video. Now some history on this sound. It originates in Dutch house, sometimes referred to as Dirty Dutch house, and it's a style of electro house that originated in the Netherlands gained prominence around 2009. Some of the biggest originating artists were Afrojack, Chucky, and Sidney Samson. Chucky is often cited as the genre's originator, but it's pretty common knowledge that Chucky had help from a ghost producer named Fabian Lenson. So what is this sound? Well, it's basically just a bright lead with portamento. They come in lots of varieties, but I'm splitting them between dirty and clean, and this indicates whether they have a high amount of pitch modulation creating distortion. A really classic example of this sound is in David Guetta's Little Bad Girl, but it can be heard in lots of Afrojack songs and many more. There's so many things you can do to this sound, it's barely worth mentioning, and if you want ideas of where to springboard from here, watch the previous Massive in Depth where I describe how to use all of Massive's many options to build upon an initial sound. I'm going to run you through 4 patches, 2 clean and 2 dirty, so you can get an idea of what you can do, and from there you just need to try switching out waveforms or effects or mod OSC choices or any other options available to mess around with and see if that gets you closer to the sound you're looking for. So before I go over the demo patches, I'm going to show you a 15-second Dutch house lead. So that's a super simple one. From there you can add vibrato or the pitch distortion. Okay, now the patches. So 2 clean, number 5. Okay, so we have 2 oscillators. We have add octaves on the first, and it's pitched down 2 octaves, wavetable position all the way to the right, intensity all the way to the right, amp slight from all the way to the right, filter all the way up. Second oscillator, we have a formant square. It pitches the fundamental, and the wavetable position is all the way to the left, spectrum intensity all the way to the right. We're not using oscillator 3. Modulation OSC 24 or 2 octaves up, phase all the way to the left, and phase is on oscillator 2. No noise. Feedback is on and set all the way to the left, and it's going in the center, whereas the other 2 oscillators, the filter mix is on filter 1. Next we have serial on the filter mix, so we go from the band reject into the second band reject. Both of them are band reject, cutoffs all the way left, first filter bandwidth all the way to the right, pretty slight off, resonance same or about twice as much. The second cutoff all the way to the left, bandwidth left of center, resonance just above fully right, volume's maximized, and the mix is on the second filter, so we're just grabbing the audio out of filter 2 after it's been processed by both. We have tube on, dry wet. No, we don't have dry tube on. It's not doing anything. And no reverb either. Okay. The volume envelope, max fast attack, max sustain, default release. The pitch envelope, we have a little bit of attack, full sustain, I think slightly more than default released. Insert effects, we have clipping on the first insert and it's after filter 1, and we have bit crush after the second filter. Clipping, dry wet all the way to the left, drive full, bit crush, dry wet all the way to the left, crush right of center, feedback all the way to the left. I think we went over feedback. Okay, now we go over the macros. Wait, one more. Envelope 2. Envelope 2 is on band reject, full depth, and fast attack, decay almost all the way, level at I think is 10 o'clock, release about midway. Voicing is 9, mono, always trigger, pitch cutoff, there is no detuning on. Pan position, also none. Okay. And that does it. So from there we have macros. So macro 1 is on the wavetable position of the format square. Number 2 is on the dry wet of clip. Number 3 is on the bandwidth of the first band reject filter, just a little bit. Number 4 is cutoff of the first band reject, full depth. Number 5 is the attack on the pitch envelope. Number 6 is phase modulation, full depth. You can see it over here. And number 7 is on the feedback, and 8 is on high shelf. All right, I'm gonna mess around with these a little bit. All right, on to the next preset. Also, if you want a better idea of what all these presets sound like, you can check out the Sig Twisted Minds YouTube channel where I do full run-throughs of all the presets. I mess around with them and turn the macros. Okay. 3 oscillators. The first one is on square saw 1, wavetable position all the way to the left, intensity in the center, pitch 1 octave up. Oscillator 2 is math 2. Wavetable position all the way to the right, intensity all the way to the right, amp slight of mid. It's on the fundamental. Woody for the oscillator 3, pitch is the fundamental, wavetable position all the way to the right, intensity almost full. Amp at like 930, just slight above center, or left that is. Modulation OSC, 1 octave below, phase all the way to the left, and it's on oscillator 1. Feedback is not on, noise is not on. Okay, so all the sounds are going to the center, but there's no reason for that. Okay, have them all go up. Parallel, so that, no. Yeah, this is just what I do, and I'm not using filter 2, I put it on parallel. All right, cut off on the center for low pass, and resonance left of center. Chorus, dry, wet all the way to the left, rate at 10 o'clock, offset slightly above that, depth at slightly below what rate was. EQ, some boosting on the highs, boosting on the whatever frequency this is, and some low shelf boosting. Insert 1. Did I go over chorus? Yeah. Okay. Insert 1 is frequency shifter, dry wet all the way left, pitch there, and our right of center insert is after the first filter, and insert 2 is after the second filter, and it's on clipping, dry full, dry wet all the way to the left. Volume envelope, there's a little bit of attack. I think slightly more than default release, full sustain. Mono on the vibrato mode. I think the pitch bend is increased. Yeah, it's 12 and negative 12. Unison is 1. Mono, rotate, legato, triller. All right, vibrato, or the macros now. Macro 1 vibrato is on the vibrato. Don't forget to set this to mono. I guess, no, it doesn't even matter. There's only one voice. Oh well, set it to mono. 2 is the cutoff of the low pass filter. 3 is a morph between square and saw. 4 is phase modulation, full depth. 5 is the dry wet on the frequency shifter. 6 is clipping. 7 is chorus, and 8 is portamento. Okay, now we're on to the dirty ones. Number 2. Okay, so the biggest difference between the last patch and this patch is this right here. It's the LFO on the pitch of oscillator 1 that has 1 semitone of modulation and a super fast rate. It creates this distortion, which you can turn off with macro 6. Okay, so 1 oscillator, square saw 1, wavetable position all the way full 8. Gotta switch this. Square saw. Sometimes I develop or decide on standards of naming things after I've created a patch. So as I go back through before putting them on for sale, I switch all the names. And some of that happens right here or in the run through video. Okay, so yeah, with this switched, all right, saw. Wavetable position fully left. Yeah, okay, band reject filter on filter 1, all the way serial, cut off all the way to the left, bandwidth, or pretty much all the way to the left, not quite. Not sure it's making the hugest difference. Anyways, those are the settings. Mix all the way up. The tube on dry wet at I think 1030. Drive all the way to the left. Reverb isn't doing anything. EQ, low shelf, a cut at whatever in the low frequencies, or in the low mids, that is. High shelf cut a little bit, like at 10 o'clock, 10:30. White, nope, no white noise, no feedback, no inserts. Volume envelope. All right, fast attack, full sustain, pretty much instant, instant release. Yeah. Okay. Nope. 2, 3. Okay, envelope 2 on the pitch. Over here, 2 octaves up. Fast attack, full sustain on the attack level, full sustain on the sustain level, instant release. Envelope 1 isn't doing anything. Okay, envelope 5, or LFO 5 is on the pitch of the first oscillator, 1 semitone, maximum rate, amp all the way to the left. Oscillator, portamento all the way to the left, depth all the way to the left. It's non-standard, I'm pretty sure. Mono, always. All right, onto the macros, vibrato. Macro 1 is vibrato. It's on the vibrato controls right here. 2 is pitch. No, I changed this. Oh no, yeah, it's pitch drop. It's how much the envelope affects the overall pitch increase. So it basically turns off envelope 2. 3 is brightness. 4 is drive on the tube amp. 5 is portamento right here. 6 is screech, which is on, okay, yeah, it's of course, it's how much the LFO is controlling that sound. Silly. Okay, slide 7 is, I believe, how quickly. Yeah, it's the attack, so it's like adding the whoop. I prefer whoop. And then the square saw morph that we changed earlier. All right, one more patch, number 10. Three oscillators, polysaw 2, carbon, and G-pulse. The first is 1 octave above, wavetable position in the center, intensity left of center, with it set on formant mode. Oscillator 2 is carbon, formant position left, or wavetable position slightly above, directly left. Intensity at like 11 o'clock, amp to the right, formant setup. I already said that. G-pulse on oscillator 3, no detuning on the pitch. Wavetable position all the way to the right, intensity full on bend minus mode, amp all the way to the right. Filters in the center except for the first one, which is slightly down. Then we have the modulation OSC. 1 octave above, phase all the way to the left, phase controlling oscillator 1. Feedback, slightly above the fully right, or like it's like 10 o'clock, I guess. Serial mode, band reject filter, followed by band pass filter, mix all the way on mix 2, cut off all the way to the left, bandwidth at 10 o'clock, resonance slightly above that, filter 2 band pass, cut off all the way to the right, slightly below that, or slightly below, fully pointing to the right. Bandwidth, set like 1 o'clock, resonance left of fully center, max volume on both, mix on 2, no external effects. EQ, a little bit of high shelf boost, a little bit of low shelf boost, some boosting at this frequency, which is at like 1 o'clock, I think. Envelope, fast attack, full decay, no sustain, instant release. Envelope 1 is on all 3 oscillators. It goes up 1 octave. Instant attack, attack level at 0 with a macro, decay full, levels, I don't know, below fully right, release, slightly more than default. It's also, I guess this envelope is also on the band reject filter and the resonance here. And envelope 4 is also on the wavetable position over here, creating a pluck, I think. A little bit. LFO 6 is just 2 sine waves. I mean, should just be up here. Rate full, 20, or I have 21 cents of modulation right now. And then I guess just the macros. So The first macro is on, oh wait, do we have any mono? But there's no vibrato going on. Portamento is slightly left to center, or it's at like 10 o'clock. Voicing, 3 voices, monophono, always. Pitch cutoff on, fully left. Wavetable position on, fully left. Pan position centered. Okay, now we go over the macros. Macro 1 on band reject, full depth. Number 2 on the band pass, about half the total depth in the opposite direction. Clipping on macro 3. Number 4, control some feedback, negative depth, so decreasing it as you increase the knob. PM macro 5 is on the phase modulation. Number 6, blur, is controlling the pitch cutoff, the wavetable position, and the pan position in the voicing page here. 7 controls the frequency shifter. I think it was called transform because it sounds like transformers at low pitches. And then 8, top layer. Number 8. Right, it controls how high the pitch is. I mean, you should pretty much just keep that maxed. Let's put this on maybe ring mod. Alright, that completes all the detuned leads. Once again, you can get all of these demos, all these presets I just went over in the demo in the description, or buy the full pack, which has 10 dirty and 10 clean Dutch house leads. This completes Massive in Depth number 17. Thanks.